Welcome to shit, wrong show.
Fuck me,
Ah,
running.
I know, right? This is acceptable vices for April. What month? What is it? April? Still? I don't know what month it is. It's May.
It
Okay.
is May.
This is acceptable vices for May 2nd, 2015. Tonight we talk about paid mods. Hey everyone, this is Acceptable Vices. I'm your happy host, Victor Frost, from the land of Brizzy. We got Churba. Hey, Churba.
Hey, you remember those like stick things where you flip them upside down and they kind of go those things?
Yeah. The ones that supposed to sound like cows and stuff.
Yeah. Imagine if your knob made that noise every time you got a lob on.
And and from the land of York, which is newer than the previous, it is Nelson. Hey, Nelson.
Hello.
So Nelson came up with the topic for this month. So Nelson, go.
Well, so I believe it was 2 weeks ago now. Valve introduced. They made an announcement, and they said they would be supporting paid mods. So they have the Steam Workshop, and they've actually done a lot of work in the past year or so to add modding support for games and add support for like downloading them and installing them without a bunch of crappy versions. You know how mods are basically the Wild West, like game mods. But Steam is slowly, making it a lot easier to find them and install them and not have them break. And they basically took down some kind of competitor projects like Nexus Mod Manager and things like that were trying to be the like this is how you install mods on games. But 2 weeks ago, Steam announced that they will be supporting paying people for mods, and they said, you could maybe have like a single fee, or you can do a pay what you want thing, depending on whatever the mod creator wants. But Valve will get. I believe the breakdown was that the mod creator would get 25%. The game that was being modded would get something around like 40%, and then Steam would get the other like 30-some%, or other 40%.
Yeah, looking at a news article, it says that the mod creator will get 25%, and the remainder will be split. For example, for Skyrim, it'd be split between Valve and Bethesda according to some sort of, arrangement they've made, not specific.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, after I suggested this as a topic for the show, Valve turned around and said, "Well, maybe not."
Well, because of all the backlash from the gamers.
Yep.
Which is stupid.
It is dumb.
Probably
So
'cause everyone in the world was yelling at them. Like, it is the first time I've ever seen Gabe Newell downvoted on Reddit. He was sitting at like minus 4,000, which is pretty nuts.
Yeah.
So I am a crazy pinko socialist, and Churba lives in a country with a $15 minimum wage and free healthcare.
That is actually kind of not true.
Oh, not anymore?
No, we still have mostly free healthcare.
What happened to the
Don't
minimum
worry,
wage?
we'll wait for your crime to finish.
I'm just editing that out.
Just make sure you're not outside in black.
But
Yes.
But so my point is, I'm a pretty kind of a pinko socialist person, but I am totally fine with people making money on mods. And in fact, I am putting money where my mouth is and just stuffing dollar bills in there. I actually pay for a mod. There is a Patreon for a former SimCity developer who has been making really cool buildings for city skylines, and I am paying like
Really?
a dollar per building, like whenever he makes them, and I can set like a maximum per month. I think I set it at like $20 just so I don't, like he doesn't
Bankrupt
make a million
yourself with
buildings.
fake buildings.
Yeah, but like a dollar for like a really cool, a few hours work of, put in this new building in City Skylines is pretty cool.
So let's back up a little bit to the back where the actual contention began, to which was the outcry, quote unquote, from the Gamerscape about the concept of paid mods. What was their principal grief with that?
That they have to pay for something.
Yes.
Was that their only
Well,
grief, that we have to pay?
Some of them were worried that previously free mods would become paid mods, which is legitimate concern. Like, if I'm spending my off hours building a crazy giant mod for a game, and Valve says, hey, we can make it so that people can pay you really easily, and I'm like, well, maybe if people paid me, I'd put more work into it. Then I could definitely see that happening in some cases. I think what the gaming community didn't really get is that there is a certain amount of mods that people are making because they love the game and they want to make mods for it, right?
Right.
There is an even greater amount of mods that could be made if you gave people money for them. Like, if you're, if I'm Valve and I'm like, hey, you should make a mod for, for City Skylines and spend like 10 hours a week on it, and but you're not getting any money or anything, then maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't. But if they're like, oh, and you can say, set it to like pay what you want and people might give you money for it, that's like, oh, well, my time is valuable, maybe I'll make a mod. Like, it expands the amount of mods you can have.
What I don't think players, the gamers that were griping about this, were getting is that, and this is very much the same situation that a lot of webcomic artists who webcomicking is not their main thing. Mm-hmm. They can't support themselves on the webcomics, or like YouTube channel owners, stuff like that. This is the same situation that those guys are in. That, yes, hey, I like making this creative output, but making this creative output takes time, and whatever time I put into that, I am literally taking away from what I do to make money, or I'm taking away from my free time, which contributes to my sanity.
Mm-hmm.
And they're only getting the side of mods are the sacred thing. It's the player-to-player interaction that makes the game better. I would pay a non-insignificant sum, and for gaming mods, I would say like $5 would be a non-insignificant sum of money to get a whole bunch of new cars in, say, like Dirt 3.
You know what the craziest thing is? That this is like, if you think about it, paid mods aren't a new thing. Here's a few mods that you have probably paid for. Counter-Strike. Red Orchestra 2, which is a great game.
Also full of nuts now.
Yeah.
Gary's mod.
Gary's mod. Gary's mod is still an actual. Is it a standalone thing now?
Yeah, it's a standalone thing now.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I
started off as a Half-Life 2 mod.
Yeah, it started off as a mod. I think I actually paid for it when it was still like not standalone. Like they had it as a free mod, and then they're like, now we're doing this crazy, update, and it's going to be paid. And I paid for it because it was awesome. Yeah. And then they, kept expanding on that. Like, having modders make money for what they want to do isn't a new thing, and it hasn't killed gaming. Like,
what this is it's equivalent of the people who go out there and saying artists shouldn't charge people for their paintings. Art is for art's sake. It should be spread abound for the masses, and those people are idiots, much like these gamers are idiots.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I don't do photography anymore, at least professionally, because turns out
Yeah.
that, you'll get plenty of great exposure. Well, exposure doesn't pay my fucking rent.
It's good for it's a good portfolio piece. I can make as many portfolio pieces as I want.
Lori Penny, the writer, she had a great line. I think it was her. She may have quoted someone else, but she said in response to people saying, "Oh, it's great exposure." She said, people die of exposure.
Okay, so I'm gonna do my damnedest to play the devil's advocate here. So I'm gonna put myself in the shoes of one of those foam-mouthed gamers out there, and say that, well, okay, yeah, paid mods could probably do well to push some people into the development, into going into like more serious development, but what it's actually going to do in the bigger term is it's going to make developers spend less time developing their actual game and make what they're doing and refocus their monetization strategy into what's effectively first day DLC, but in mod form.
It is. We already have that. DLC is a paid mod. Expansion packs are a paid mod. Like, companies that want to do that are already doing that. And you know what? As much as I generally dislike paid DLC as a thing, and I am sad that the industry went in that direction, I'm actually
okay with day one DLC.
Millions of dollars. Call of Duty is the most profitable piece of media I think that has ever existed in terms of just raw amount of dollars that they get.
Yeah, that's probably pretty fair.
I might be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure its sales numbers, at least the latest one, surpassed every blockbuster movie, every a bunch of other stuff. It was crazy. And you know what? That's their whole strategy is, hey, we've got these little DLCs that are we're adding some mods to the game, and you got to pay a lot of money to get them.
Oh, look, you can fight zombies in Call of Duty.
Yeah, that's totally a mod.
Yeah.
If I were 14 and someone was like, oh, I'm going to make a mod for this shooter and you're going to be able to fight zombies, I'd be like, yeah, that sounds about right. You know what?
I think maybe one of the other issues people were having is because they were looking at things like Day 1 DLC and things like that and going, oh no, mods are going to go the way of DLC where they're just going to keep everything back from us until we give them money, and they're going to take parts out of their mods so that they can sell it separately, because these people don't actually know how the industry fucking works or how a game is planned and built. So they fear these things because they have no idea what's going on.
Let me just touch on that. Let me just touch on Day 1 DLC, because there are two kinds of Day 1 DLC, and here they are. The first one is the Mass Effect one, the one that of Mass Effect Day 1 DLC, which is basically a chunk of the game missing.
Mm-hmm.
But you can get it if you pay this. That is the bad kind of DLC, and thankfully that is not the most common kind of DLC.
Horse armor.
The what?
Horse armor.
Horse armor. No,
Oblivion.
I don't play Oblivion.
When Oblivion came out, it was one of the first. There was a big kerfuffle because it was one of the first massively appealing games with Day 1 DLC, and the DLC was armor for your horse, and I think it was $5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's you know what it is? It's Day 1 DLC most commonly is used as a vector for developers who, because if you know about the game development process, what it is that they have to set, for console games especially, they have to send their games out for certification way in advance of release. So at that point, once they send it out for certification, the formal development on the game proper stops. But it's entirely possible that while that game is out in development, while that game is out for certification, the game studios don't want just their programmers, who they have to keep in case the game comes back and there's a problem with certification, just sitting there twiddling their thumbs. So what they do is they have them work on other stuff. And that other stuff that they make, like horse armor, for instance, is a great way to add to the game as day one DLC. Like, look, here's the game, here's the real game, but here's this other stuff that you can get too. That is the more common way and the best way day one DLC can be implemented. And it is, like Nelson said, it is what first-party mods are. That's what day one DLC, that's what all DLC is.
And that's the thing. These people who don't know what the fuck is up with the industry are thinking that basically you've got companies like EA sitting over a game with a razor blade looking for things that they could carve out and sell to you, which is the biggest load of fucking nonsense. Actually, no, it's not the biggest load of nonsense I've heard about
Not for EA. Battlefield, I played
biggest load of
Battlefield.
The biggest load of fucking nonsense? Gamergate.
No.
Yeah.
No. That's not industry related. That's idiot related.
I'm not seeing the distinction.
Go on, Nelson.
A possible good thing for paid mods, a lot of game companies don't put effort towards making their games moddable because, it costs money and they don't get anything from it, right?
Right.
So, like, GTA, yeah, some people have hacked in little mods, but it's not, it's not supported. Like, SimCity, 2013 versus SimCity 4, or SimCity 3K, or SimCity 2000. Like, those three games had mod support built in, and they exploded. And the new SimCity didn't, and it was kind of
Yeah.
And I think if there is an avenue for game companies to make money off mods, they're totally gonna make it easier to mod their games.
Oh, yeah, for
Because
sure.
it's not that much effort. It's just enough effort that it's not reasonable to do it for free, but it's not that much effort that it's not reasonable to do it, at all.
And these big whiny complainy pants, what they're forgetting is that having a proper mods channel that allows the possibility of revenue generation opens up not just to, hey, I'm just a guy who's trying to make some extra pocket change with, by doing something that's like my passion to me. I love making mods. It also opens things up to third-party companies making mods that would appeal to brand loyalty. Like, just sticking with Dirt 3, what if Sega decided, hey, look at that, full mod support for Dirt 3. Oh, cool. Maybe we can make some liveries that, with Hatsune Miku on them to promote the Hatsune Miku game we're developing. Maybe we can do that. There's lots of Hatsune Miku fans out there that love to put her all over their, Ford Escorts in Dirt 3. We can totally do that. It would cost next to nothing.
Mm-hmm. And
so,
here's...
Tell me about your Escort in Dirt 3. What have you got on the shelves?
Nothing. I mostly stick to the carbon fiber liveries.
Here's an interesting situation. So I am part of the Arma 3 or the Arma community Shack Tech, and we use a lot of mods. Arma is a game with a huge modding community, and some of it, almost all of it is kind of unpaid, like one-off little things, but there are some gigantic projects. CBA, Ace, the All-in Arma, which is basically backporting all of Arma 1 and 2 weapons and vehicles and maps into Arma 3. Like, there are some huge projects in the Arma universe. And a few months ago, Bohemia Interactive, the developers, they started a contest, and they're going to give like $500,000 to the best Arma mod.
That is no
Yeah.
change. That's something.
Yeah, and so like, and it's kind of a corollary to paid mods. Like when they announced that, a lot of the large groups were like, "Oh, let's group together and make an even bigger mod that is going to be super cool." And like
indie game developers.
Yeah, like the things that people are doing and the things that people can do if they don't need to worry about like how to pay rent is super cool. It's it's one of the reasons why I'm such a pinko commie scum is because like I think if everyone was at some level of comfort, there would be an explosion of creativity.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people want to do cool stuff, and it costs money to do that.
What paid mods basically open up is the equivalent of, okay, you have the unpaid modders who are the violin virtuosos sitting in the subway station, but they're homeless. You open up paid mods, you can give these people apartments, and now they can be really like full-on dedicating their time into being like a proper violin virtuoso, spreading their violining and game modding magic to all the peoples. It's a good thing.
I think it's a good thing, and you know what? I think Valve is going to do it. I think they're gonna 360 it. They're gonna Xbox 360 it.
Hell, yeah.
Because there was a backlash, but with all of these things where there's like a gigantic backlash, there will be a counter backlash, right? And so it'll be like announcement, backlash, counter backlash, counter backlash.
Tide goes in, tide comes out.
Yeah, and then eventually, whatever the agent that initiated the action, they're going to compile all of those backlashes together, figure out what to do, and then do it. And Valve, as a company, is pretty good about doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Even when people say, "Oh, what the fuck are you doing? What? You're making a thing to download games?"
It's got built-in DRM.
It's got built-in DRM? That'll never work.
I think really that's maybe not the case, because I think that part of this whole paid mods thing is also part of another problem that's been happening with Valve recently, which is that, well, they're basically completely unwilling to police their service in any way anymore.
This is also
That's
true.
true. That is a potential.
Within like the first time, I mean, one of the examples the Wired article I was looking at was giving was that they had to pull down some mods because they were basically plagiarizing other mods.
Yeah.
And it took a long time to actually get that done. So
Yeah,
you have to be able to manage it properly. Maybe with like MD5 checksums and stuff.
And of course, another part of the problem that went down with the whole paid mods thing was basically just dickheads throwing a tantrum and uploading mods like other people's mods at ridiculous price points, like fucking $50,000 and things like that, or people uploading mods that are basically just things that make the game go fuck Valve every fucking 30 seconds.
You know how we could fix all of the problems in the gaming community?
Take away the
Kill all the
keyboards of those people.
Don't make a biometric verification that you cannot log into Steam until your 21st birthday. I think that would cut down at least half of the problems. Not all of them. There are a lot of shithead older people in video games, believe me. But
you know what the problem
half of them are just, these are children that want to be heard by a major corporation.
I think the principal problem is that the gaming community, by and large, and this is going to sound so arrogant and so pretentious, but the gaming community, by and large, does not know what's good for them.
Team fucking Fortress fucking 2. Remember what happened?
Yep.
I don't think they normally put that in the title, though, even though it is the official name.
So, for any of our listeners that are not aware of what I am speaking of, Team Fortress 2, or not, God damn it, I'm tired. It's we're doing this show later than we normally do, and so I actually said something wrong. I was trying to say Tribes 2.
That's it. Yes. I thought you were just talking about hats.
No, although, hats are another whole issue. But so Tribes 2 was a situation, it was a game that was really good, and there was a few little problems with it, and then the community kept saying, oh, you should do this thing, you should do that thing, and the developers responded, and they did all of the things that their fans wanted, and it broke the game.
Yep.
And that is why we cannot have nice things. So what Valve, I think, needs to do is take in all the criticism, get rid of half of it, implement a lot of checks or balances or some way to not have people being dickheads and stealing other people's work and police their community in this, at least in this, in the paid things, right? And I think if they figure out how to do that and, figure out if it's worth it for them to do that, I think they might come back and, actually do paid mods and have some way to make it not explode. Hopefully.
Yeah.
I would really like them to be able to do that because, you know what? It's really easy to download mods in Steam. It's like Kerbal Mod Manager is the second best mod management thing I've used in the past 10 years. It's still shitty. It's so much shittier than Steam Workshop. What is?
Curse is pretty nice. It's probably not something you have ever used if you haven't played a whole bunch of MMOs.
Yeah.
But it's basically the gold standard for mostly MMO mods. I use it to get all my Secret World mods, and while it's the free version is kind of annoying because it has ads and things, generally it's a pretty good client for downloading mods. You basically the whole list of every mod for any particular game that's on your list is only ever 2 clicks away. Downloading any particular mod is like a 1-click affair, so is uninstalling it. And it's generally just unintrusive.
I spent about 5 hours designing and writing a mod manager for Arma because I was not happy with the current selection. And then I realized how unbelievably crazy building a mod manager is, and I was like, nope, not gonna use the thing that exists because it works if I don't touch it. It's one of those programs where it works perfectly if you don't touch it and don't look at it funny. Just let it do its thing, and it'll update your mods.
It'll do okay.
Yeah.
I think you should make a mod for Arma 3 that just makes all of the soldiers into 1960s mods.
Yes, with the Vespas and crazy mirrors. That'd be great.
You're just rolling around as the Beatles.
I like it. I'm gonna win that 500K.
All the tanks, they're just VW microbuses.
Yes.
Hey John, there's a sniper on the ridge.
You know what? If any of our listeners are modders, I will pay you $5 if you make a mod for Arma 3.
Yes,
seriously,
I will also
just
toss
straight
in a
up.
$5.
I will also
awesome.
toss it, and I might actually buy Arma. I might actually start playing Arma just to play as that and just infuriate everyone else.
Speaking of, I've got a plug.
Okay, well, while you're sorting out that while you're sorting out that plug, let me just tell an Armour story real quick. We were playing, I believe it was Armour 2, one of the expansion packs for Armour 2. We were playing that with the part of the Breakfast Club in co-op. And, Joe's going, oh, I didn't know how to fly a helicopter. I'm just like, oh, yeah, I kind of know how to fly a helicopter. He's like, cool, so I've, jumped in. We've all hopped in, we've taken off, we've come over the landing site. And I've just fucking abandoned ship. and I can just hear Joe and fucking Gray going, oh, whoop, steady up. Hang on. No, you're tilting. I'm like, no, I'm not tilting. I'm not even in there. It's like, what are you doing? I can fly it. I never said I could land it. And they just died in a fireball on the nearest hillside as I died pancaking into the ground because it turns out I also don't know how to parachute.
All right, Nelson, you got a plug. Yeah.
My plug is a sort of half-done mod. It is a YouTube video of someone who created an AT-AT, an Imperial, Star Wars Imperial AT-AT in Arma 3. And it is glorious. And it works, and the guns work, and they also made a small mini version that you can ride around.
Okay, I still think the best part of that video is when the A10 hits the side of
yes.
an AT-AT,
and it
just barrel rolls. It doesn't even topple. This thing just fucking flips like a gymnast, man. It's hilarious.
Yep. It's a realistic military simulator.
It is the most realistic, and that's why you charge into battle with nothing more than your pistol and your underwear.
Mm-hmm.
Since we're plugging mods here, I think I'll plug in a what is it? Where is that stupid thing? Here we go. I'm gonna do a plug for the Dirt 3 Any Track Any Car mod. It's so nice. What you can basically do is, as it says, you can use any car on any track in Dirt 3. So, you could use a modern trailblazing car on a rallycross track. And doing these mods has some interesting effects on the driver AI. Particularly when you're when you have a rally track and you set it as a grid start, all the AIs are trying to mash through the gate all together. It's pretty awesome, and especially on the Gymkhana stages, if you do something like pick a trophy truck to do Gymkhana in a trophy truck. If you have any amount of driving skill, you're pretty much guaranteed to come in first place with that, because the AI just gets so confused. It's so great. So that's what I'm going to plug. It's really fun.
Very well. I don't have any mods to plug. I'm sorry.
You don't have any mods to plug. Okay.
Nothing that's worth plugging, at least. Most of the time I've been playing Warframe, so there's no mods for that I know of. Let's see. X Rebirth,
Oh.
However you want it, I guess.
Yeah.
One
more thing. I'm putting a link to where I get the Any Car Any Track mod in the notes, but there is also another mod in there which is very fun. It lets you just adjust the grip of the tires, which can lead to some interesting results if you do it wrong.
You misspelled excellent.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. So you should definitely check that out if you play Dirt 3. Dirt Rally is coming out soon. It's already available via early access. I haven't gotten it. Churba, have you gotten it?
Nope. I am fucking after Dirt Showdown. after playing that, I've determined that I am not going to touch any Dirt game until it is out and I've seen some reviews and gameplay.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well,
Dirt
they're
Showdown
getting
is a pile of anus.
Yeah, Dirt Showdown was an abortion of a game. Dirt Rally though, they seem to be going back to the original form. It's all rally in there now, but they've also taken out the flashback system apparently.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wonder if they've taken out Gymkhana, because while it's fun, I just wish it wasn't required to advance, because I get kind of sick of having to do the same 4 fucking spin turns
I know.
just like 8 times in a row, just because fake fucking what Ken Block is beating me by like 2 points.
Yeah, that's annoying. That's just so annoying
And he's only beating me by fucking... Yeah, he's only beating me by 2 points because the game dictates that he must. It's not because he actually has any skill, because he doesn't exist.
does not. No, he does not.
They're not making him run the course, they're just assigning him an arbitrary number of points.
Yep. Yeah. But yeah, that's there's a second mod for you. So, all right. Well, I think that's about it, gentlemen. Unless anybody has anything else to add.
Not really. I have one little thing I could talk about.
Okay.
I played the Call of the Duties today because Steam is doing a free weekend, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It is a weird game. It's still very brown and very twitchy, but slower than a real Twitch shooter. You know, it's not Action Quake 2. But now there's lasers and a lot of particle effects. They really want to let you know that the air has particles in it, and they are all over the place.
There's
and I don't know if it was just because I was playing like noob people, but I feel like I might have the gift. I kept clicking on their heads and they kept dying, and I don't know what.
Nelson, you have to understand. We grew up playing those Twitch games.
Yeah.
Most of these are like 13-year-olds.
Well, I feel like there's maybe more matchmaking, so like it only puts me with like low skill, you know, like rank 1 or whatever. They have like a ranking system now, right? And so I think I was only playing people that haven't played before. It was a strange experience. I'll probably play it again tomorrow, but I don't think I will pay money for it. It was very strange.
I have a fucking fun little story related to that. A friend of mine has a young kid who's just started to come into gaming on the PC. He's just become a teenager, and he has discovered Counter-Strike. And he was always talking his shit up all the time, just like, oh man, yeah, Uncle Churbs, you're not going to be able to play Counter-Strike, man. You don't know Counter-Strike. Fucking, you can't play Counter-Strike, man. You're old. I'm just like, alright, 1v1 scrub. Suffice it to say, a scrubby little friend did not do so well.
I remember I was taking in
he accused me of cheating. I'm just like, kid, the only cheating I've done was playing this game before fucking your dad spunked in your mum.
It was like in my second year of college, and I was taking a CIT class. No, I was taking a CIT class. So, and it was just so stupid easy. It was me and like 3 or 4 other people in the class that was just looking at what they were teaching, and we already knew the entire curriculum. And so we were just playing. We just were playing video games. I'm like, hey, how about I bring this teeny tiny router I have, and we can just do a LAN party. Like, oh, what game can we play? I'm like, oh, well, I have a few license keys for Unreal Tournament 2004. We can just all play that. And they're like, oh, cool, what kind of game? Oh, it's like a first-person shooter. It's multiplayer. Oh, it's like Counter-Strike? I'm like, yeah. Yeah, sure, it's like Counter-Strike. Yeah, sort of. Yeah, let's say that. So, for those of you who have not played Unreal Tournament 2K4, Counter-Strike may be like a decently fast shooter, but Unreal Tournament, it's a fast. You can get moving pretty quick, and you can blow shit up really good in that game.
I have the like one of the theme songs stuck in my head now, like pump up music.
Yeah. And we were playing those. We were playing that, and getting it all set up, and all that stuff. And we started playing, and they're like, have you guys played this game before? Like, no, but we play lots of first-person shooters. They were friends. I'm like, okay, well, how about you guys be on one team, and I'll just be on the other one. I'll be on the other, because there's 3 players, and team games are fun, right? Like, yeah. And I just destroyed them.
Yeah, 3v1 me scrub. Oh yeah, in my bookshelf. Old school.
Old school.
If you're ever at PAX and you're around the PC area when it is time to close up, you will probably see at least half of the PC enforcers sitting on the first row of computers playing UT2K4.
Oh my god, I want to play that game again.
Yes.
I need to re-hone my Twitch skills.
It is real fun.
Oh, I just actually thought of a mod that I should plug, and is free. Or it is free, last I checked.
Bring it, Churb.
If you play Titanfall, like I did, and then stopped doing because all of the DLC coming out split the community because they didn't do it cool like the Payday devs.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that kind of split the community and everything else. There was a lot of terrible matchmaking and things like that. But what has happened recently is that EA and Respawn Entertainment, I think it's Respawn Entertainment, came forward and basically went, yeah, you know what, we kind of fucked up there. So the season pass for all the DLC is now free.
Nice!
So if you have Titanfall, which you can regularly get on sale for very cheap, or if you are thinking about maybe getting it sometime when it is on sale, go to Origin right now and go and get the season pass for Titanfall on your account. Get it while it's free, and then play some giant stompy robot parkour game.
It was really fun for the first day that I played it, and then it broke.
I've never gotten into playing that.
It was fun for maybe the first couple of weeks for me because I had it basically at launch. But then as more and more people got to Generation 10, which is essentially Prestige 10, it just became less and less fun because more and more often you would be teamed against a team of just all Generation 10s, and everyone else on your team was basically a scrub along with yourself compared to these other people, because all of the people on the other team got sick of being stomped by that team and just kept quitting. So it was just an endless cycle for the newer players getting stomped. And getting stomped in most games is not fun.
Yep.
Alrighty then. I suppose that's it. Thanks, guys. Good show, and we'll see all you viewers and listeners next time. Next week on Friday Night Party Line. I'll catch you then.
Victor, I'm gonna kick you square in the nuts. I'm gonna punt your bollocks to the feckin' moon.
It's too fun.
I'm gonna fucking... Oh, honestly. I'll fucking kick your ass so hard that you'll have to get a coffee enema just to get your caffeine boost in the morning.
I'm so glad I'm still recording this. This is good stuff. Let's see. So Titanfall.
Honestly. Yes, Titanfall.
Yeah, I already bought...
Still live, by the way.
Yeah, I know.